Mrs. Fraser was welcomed by Sacred Heart just this past July, and our community has already felt a positive impact from her student-centered vision and collaborative leadership. She is a person with relentless intellectual curiosity and describes herself as a lifelong learner, knowing that by modeling that love of learning and the rewarding process of it, she is modeling significant values for creating a life well lived. Mrs. Fraser has truly had a taste of the Sacred Heart mission and all aspects of the independent school life over the course of her career, most recently as head of school at Marymount International in London, but her tenure includes time at Georgetown Preparatory School, as well as our sister school, Stone Ridge School of the Sacred Heart in Bethesda, Maryland. And throughout her many roles as an administrator, a teacher, a coach, a mentor, and an advisor, she has always strived to know the whole child, where she is, and inspire her to believe in herself. Mrs. Fraser is a passionate advocate for all girls' education, and it is clear her priority is to know and love all of her students, and she believes that as an educator, each day offers us a chance to make a difference in the life of a young woman. Mrs. Fraser.
Thank you so much, Katie. And again, welcome to our virtual open house. We're thrilled that you would spend time with us today. As is our Sacred Heart tradition, often we start a gathering or a class or an activity with a moment of prayer or reflection. So today I thought we could just reflect on the words of the late American author and poet Maya Angelou. And she once said, "I've learned that you can tell a lot about a person by the way she handles three things: a rainy day, lost luggage, and tangled Christmas lights." I've learned that I still have a lot to learn. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So I hope that as you begin to spend time with us in the upper school here, that you will feel the same sense of community and mission and call to excellence on King Street that we and our students feel every day. And my hope is that even across Zoom, the joy of learning, of serving others, of being active in faith and generous in spirit, all of that will shine through. So as Katie said, I have the privilege and honor and the workload of being the head of school and the head of upper school. And my goal is the same in those roles. And that is for every girl and young woman here to be known and to be loved, and to have a certainty that all of us, every adult in the community, is rooting for each girl's success. And this has been at the heart of the work of Sacred Heart Greenwich since 1848. We believe in the potential and the dreams of our girls. And we know that here, girls are in the forefront of their own learning, front and center, jumping into leadership positions, pursuing upper level math and science classes and great challenges at rates much higher than at co-ed schools, that they maintain their confidence, they express their own voice, they strive for greatness in every area of their life. That's part of being part of an independent girls' school. And we're a school that values self-exploration and provides role models and removes stereotypes about what girls can be and what they can do. We're proud to have a 220-year history of empowering girls to have a brilliant academic life and a brilliant spiritual life. As a Catholic Sacred Heart school, we are part of something much bigger than ourselves. We belong to a network of schools around the world and across the United States that number just over 150, all with the same mission. And our 5 goals include an active faith life, respect for intellectual values and the development of being a lifelong learner, an awareness of social justice that impels us to act, a desire to build an inclusive and kind community, and a fostering of personal growth in an atmosphere of wise freedom. These 5 principles define our ethos, and they provide a significant roadmap. It helps us always remember who we are. Our foundress, Madeline Sophie Berra, sought to make God's love known and for each girl to have the opportunity to celebrate her gifts. That was not a popular or an easy task when she set this out in Paris after the French Revolution. And as you get to know us a little bit more, you will hear us draw on our rich history of intrepid women and two key concepts that define a Sacred Heart education: formation and transformation. Our goal is not simply to educate your daughter in a rich liberal arts tradition, although that is a noble goal. It's to form her into a strong individual with self-awareness, courage, compassion, generosity, and an interior strength. Who we are teaching is just as important as what we are teaching. So in her 4-year experience in the upper school, what can she expect? She can expect to grow in her belief that she will use her gifts to go out and make a difference in the world, that she will be a game changer, and that's transformation. We have a dedicated faculty who are called to connect with and challenge and inspire our students, and they seek through our mission to create an active learning environment where deep critical thinking and questioning are not only valued, they are absolutely encouraged. We are continuing to weave interdisciplinary threads all through our curriculum, and we tackle social justice and real world issues, and we innovate, we change things, we look for different ways to roll up our sleeves and do it better. So let's take some time to meet our upper school faculty members who are often advisors and extracurricular moderators. They want to share with you their joy of teaching in the upper school.
Hi, I'm Matt Lillo. I am an English teacher in the upper school here at Sacred Heart. What I love most about being an English teacher is that the English classroom provides a space to test challenging ideas. You're privileged to work with students who want to work hard, whose larger student community is other young women who want to work hard and young women who are aspiring to accomplish something really valuable and important with their lives. And what's really exciting about this community is the conversations we have in the classroom kind of pervade into the hallways of the community. So, 2 weeks later, you're at an event and you'll suddenly hear students talking about how this event reminds them of transcendentalist ideology. And you're like, oh, bless your heart, that's very nice, I'm very glad. Right now, I am teaching the juniors, the 11th graders, colonial American literature. And we're approaching it in response to the social unrest that's been happening at a national level in this country. This is a community of young women who are genuinely interested in how do we shape a better future and want to have those discussions, and they wear it on their sleeves everywhere they go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Judy Cinto, and I am part of the faculty here in the upper school. I'm a world language teacher. I teach Spanish, and I'm also the coordinator for our Global Scholars program. Prior to being a teacher, I worked on Wall Street, and one of the things that I love to bring to the table in terms of my classes is trying to talk a little bit about some of the forces globally that affect the way we think in terms of a language classroom, but also in terms of our global studies, and thinking a little bit about what GDP is, how markets move. A home run lesson is when I'm able to take a topic that may seem a little older and dry and turn it into something fresh and something that's relatable. And so for me in the language classroom, oftentimes that's through music and lyrics. Our Global Scholars program is pretty exciting. It's a new academic program that's designed to be a challenge for students who are strong performers in world language, who have an interest in global studies and affinity for global citizenship. When you're looking at a school, it's not just looking at their reputation, what they've done in the past, but it's also to be forward-looking. So what's the vibe, what's the energy level right now? and where are we headed? And I think we're really headed in a great direction.
Hello, my name is Janelle O'Neill, and I am the Upper School Mathematics Department Chair and also the Computer Science Department Co-Chair. First thing I love about Sacred Heart is that it is an all-girl Catholic school, and as an engineer, mathematician, and computer scientist myself, I'm really a believer in educating young women in order to make them better mathematicians themselves. Some of my favorite lessons to teach are like the shortcut lessons. So in the beginning of the year with calculus, we learn about limits and we learn about the derivative as a limit. And once the girls kind of understand what a derivative is, then the next day we kind of play a game that I made up called Name That Derivative. We're gonna play a game called Name That Derivative. You're not allowed to sit down until you answer a question correctly. I take an inquiry approach to teaching mathematics and teaching calculus. If I can ask the girls a question, I will, even if it's something like 2 times 4. Someone's gonna have to give in, take one for the team, and tell me what that is.
For students and for all of us, we feel like this is home. Sacred Heart students are driven, they are motivated, but they also have such a kind spirit and heart to them. I love teaching history and showing and teaching our students the connections that can be made between past historical events and our current situations and current events in the world around. In order to make a difference and to change the world, we need to understand how we got here. We have the ability to succeed, to fail, to pick ourselves up, and to know that we are supported, that we are loved, and that we truly have the unique potential to do anything that we want.
Great. Well, thank you so much. We'll have more opportunity as you partner with us through the next several weeks and months to meet more faculty members and to learn more specifics, even today in your questions about our academic program. The student experience, of course, is at the heart of what we do. And we have a brief window today with, again, more to come in future virtual events into the student experience. So our girls are certainly as proud of the school as their head of school is of them. And today we're going to follow 2 freshmen, Frankie and Nova, in a quick view filmed from their iPhones to give us a little window into their world. And then we'll hear from our Dean of Students, Karen Panarella, and some juniors as they reflect on how they made the decision when they were in 8th or 9th grade coming to us as new students. So here's for the student voice.
Hi, I'm Frankie Morangi. I'm a 9th grader here at Sacred Heart Greenwich, and I'm going to show you a day in my life. Right now, I'm on my way to school. Right now, I'm taking my little sister to the Barrett Center. First class I have today is physics, so I'm going to go to that right now. In history class, Ahlan, that means hi in Arabic, and I'm in Arabic class right now. Now we're eating lunch. I just finished lunch, so now I'm going to go to math class. That's a day in my life. I hope you enjoyed.
So I just arrived at the mansion, which is how I enter school every morning, and we're gonna go get checked in and then go straight to class. Hi, I'm Nova. I'm in 9th grade. I'm on the green team, and today I'll be showing you a day in my life as a Sacred Heart student. This is my English class. English class just ended, and we're about to do chapel via Zoom. So chapel just ended, and we have a lot of time in between. So I'm just gonna get some work done. Hi! And it's a half day, so you can either go home, or if you have sports, you stay and you can eat lunch until about 3:30. So I just got home from school, and I just did a quick little workout, and now I have a lot of free time in my hands, so I think I'm just gonna do some homework. My favorite part today was definitely history class because we're learning a lot about Mesopotamia, and it's really cool and interesting. I hope you guys love this journey of a day in the life of a Sacred Heart student. I hope you guys consider coming to our school. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Karen Panarella, and I'm the Upper School Dean of Students at Sacred Heart Greenwich, and welcome to our admissions open house virtual style. We are so happy to be able to be a part of this. I have been working here, like I said, for 15 years, and every day is a great day because I get to work with these wonderful girls. and that is who you're here to see. So I would love to introduce our student ambassador chairs for this year. And we're gonna go one at a time. Each girl is gonna introduce themselves and tell us where you're from, what town you're from, and what year you started. And these are all juniors, just so everybody knows. So Lauren, why don't you go? You're first up.
My name's Lauren Jaricchio. I was new as an incoming freshman, and I'm from Bronxville, New York.
Fantastic. Claire?
My name's Claire Moore. I live in Darien, Connecticut, and I also came to Sacred Heart as a freshman.
Great. And Rachel?
My name is Rachel Larison. I came in 7th grade, and I'm from Rybrook, New York.
And Lydia, finish us up.
My name's Lydia Fullerton. I came to Sacred Heart as a sophomore, and I live in Old Greenwich, Connecticut.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for being with us today, girls. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if you can let us know what you're thinking. If you think back to when you were looking at high school, or Rachel, in your case, about 7th grade, what was most important to you?
I was really focused on finding a school whose students genuinely really liked the school and looked forward to going there and were very involved in the community.
Fantastic. So now that you're here, after what you were looking for, is it meeting your expectations now that you've had a couple years under your belt?
I definitely say so. For me, I was looking for a close-knit community and excellent teachers and academics, and then also athletics. So Sacred Heart definitely surpasses all my expectations in those regards.
That's great.
Yeah, definitely when I first applied to Sacred Heart, I knew that the community was great, that the academics and the teachers were amazing. But it wasn't until I came here that I realized that our traditions and how like all our grades, our entire high school is really super close. It's not like you have just a grade of 70 girls, but you're really in like a big group of 300 girls. So it's definitely something that like you have to go here to experience, that even if you could visit the campus, you wouldn't really understand the impact of our school and how it impacts our high school experience.
Can you guys think back to your visit day? Is there something that stands out to you that maybe made you change your mind or say, hey, Sacred Heart's for me?
Well, this is kind of a cliche, but everyone was super welcoming. Like, I didn't just meet the girl who was showing me around. All of her friends introduced themselves to me, and all of the teachers in the classrooms were like asking me questions about what I was interested in.
I think I really admired that everyone was so independent. It was a very independent environment, and everyone, they had their own schedule, but they also had time to talk to their friends and do everything. But I just really like this atmosphere of just sort of knowing what you're doing, and you have your own schedule, but you also have your circle of friends. And I just really like the independence because it really helps you mature. And I just really admire that environment.
For me, I would say I really liked how engaging everyone was in the classes, like the discussions. Everyone was participating, and they got really in depth into whatever they were talking about. And then in the hallways, what stuck out to me were all of the posters on the lockers, like the psych ups to support the sports teams for the upcoming games and stuff, and just the energy and bustle in between classes. Like, everyone's super interested in like, oh, how was your test? Oh, like, good luck on your next period. And like, everyone's just super close and like catching up in such a short amount of time.
What's different about the teachers here in your classes than from your old school?
I think the smaller class size and the all-girls environment make it super easy to be an active participant in all your classes. And also with that, teachers are super accessible and very willing to get to know students and help them as much as possible. And so I think that just that atmosphere makes it a really productive learning environment.
If you had to give one reason for a student to come to Sacred Heart, what would that be?
I feel like everyone just wants to see you succeed, whether it's your teachers, your peers, your academic deans, your coaches.
As a smaller school, it's definitely easier to branch out and experiment with new things. I came from Greenwich High School where it was kind of like you were in your athletic lane, or you were in the theater lane, or you were in like the Model UN lane. But with Sacred Heart, you really can experiment with so many different things, and you're not like confined to one separate group, and you can try new things. Like I just joined, I'm thinking of joining the swim team, and I've never swum before, but.
Thank you so much, ladies, for taking the time to be part of this virtual open house. We do wish all of you could come visit us, and our doors are always open. They might be virtual doors right now, but we hope to meet you all and welcome you to Sacred Heart next year. Thanks again, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Mrs. Frazier and Ms. Panarella, for taking the time to talk to those girls. I think Mr. Valentine said it best. Our girls, our faculty, they feel like they're at home here. And I think that learning environment just encourages our students to put themselves out there, try new things, challenge themselves in new ways, even if they didn't think they were interested in certain areas, kind of like Lydia, gonna go for swim team this year as a junior. You know, those stories are what make Sacred Heart such a special community to be a part of. So I just want to briefly touch upon the admission office. I do want to get to all of your questions, and I would encourage you to put questions in the chat as we've carved out some time for tonight to get to the topics that interest you. The most important thing to know about the process is that we've designed it to get to know you, who you are as a student, what are your interests in and out of school. There are many components that are going to make up your admission file, and every piece plays a role. So your academic record, report card and transcripts, your recommendations from your current school, test scores. But Ms. Panarella and I also will have an opportunity to Zoom with you, answer your questions, get to know who you are. For parents out there, we see this as a partnership. So we're going to have a Zoom opportunity with you so we can hear who your daughter is, hear why you think Sacred Heart is the right school for her, but also your family. And then, you know, to touch back upon the mission, we see this as a partnership. Our values make this community come alive. They are at the core and the heart of everything we do. So we actually ask parents to do homework and write a little essay about why you think Sacred Heart is the best school for your daughter after reflecting on those goals and criteria that Mrs. Frazier mentioned at the beginning of our program. Also, I briefly want to touch on, for applicants to 9th grade, there's the opportunity to apply for our Stuart Scholarship. Our Stuart Scholarship is our only merit scholarship, and that's awarded every year for each of your 4 years in the upper school. And applicants are considered based upon your academic record, your test scores that you submit, recommendations, an essay, and also your leadership you've shown throughout your middle school career. I would encourage you to explore this opportunity further. There's a special section on the website that gives all of the dates for submission, and you can always reach out to my admission office team if you have questions about the process and what that means. Again, whether you're just starting exploring where the spot is for you for high school, or you've already submitted your application to Sacred Heart, once we get that application, we will walk you through the next steps. We will reach out and make sure you have all of your questions answered about the process and the upper school. So now I want to take some time to talk about what interests all of you most. And we have an all-star team here tonight who are here to answer your questions. And I'll just quickly let them introduce themselves. And Mrs. Bassey, do you want to start?
Hello, my name is Linda Vasu. I'm assistant head of school and director of academic programs and professional development. But most important, is my role as teacher. I've been teaching English here for 13 years. I've taught all of the students whom you've just seen. Delightful to hear them speak about their experience here. We have a really strong academic program that infuses both traditional liberal arts curriculum and lots of innovative cross-curricular courses, as Meg has said. Happy to discuss any of this with any of you at any time.
Thanks, Mrs. Vasu. Mrs. McDonald?
Hi, everyone. I'm Marcy McDonald. I'm the Dean of Academics for our current sophomore and senior classes. I'm also the Dean of College Guidance. I have been involved at Sacred Heart Greenwich for over 30 years, and my own daughter graduated from here in 2014. So I am delighted that you're here, delighted to share anything and everything about this wonderful place.
Miss Pan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Pan, or Miss Panarella. The girls call me Miss Pan. Again, I've been here for 15 years and have loved every minute of my position. I get to work with your daughters each and every day, from scheduling to the fun stuff of what we do here, and also some of the social and emotional pieces. But we work all together very well, and it's really a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, everyone. So we have a question in the chat about the academic transition for freshmen. Mrs. McDonald, do you want to talk a little bit about what that looks like once they're accepted, what their course selection process looks like?
Sure. So for those of you who would be new to Sacred Heart, we do in kind of the late April, early May period of time, invite the students to campus to do a little bit of placement testing, which I know always sounds a little daunting to the students, but want to assure you that our goal as a team in the upper school is to create a program of studies for you as students that's challenging, but also allows you to be successful. And so we look at a variety of things when we're making those placement decisions. We do look at your application, what courses you've taken in the past, some of the recommendations that we've received through the application process, and then the testing that we do, the placement testing that we do in late spring, to again, kind of make sure that what we provide for you is the best footing for success in our school. After we do the testing, review your application, we will have a program for you where we'll describe the curriculum, and we'll go over how you actually then go and register for your classes, which we use an online platform to do that. But definitely want you to know that, as you know, everyone has kind of spoken to in this format tonight, is that we want you to be involved in the process. And so we want to, while we can use previous information that we've received, placement testing information, it's also about the dialogue and sharing your experience and what you think will allow you to be the most successful. So that's kind of the process, but always open for the dialogue, which you'll see when you're here is how we operate here. It's about making sure you're comfortable and confident in whatever programming we suggest.
Awesome. And just to piggyback off that a little bit, there's a question about the schedule. Mrs. Vasu or Mrs. Pan, do you want to talk about what a schedule looks like for the upper school students?
Sure. I could speak to that, and Ms. Pan, chime in, please. Schedule, do you mean the types of courses, or you mean the length?
I think both. Types of courses and what their block schedule is in the day is helpful.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk a little bit first about the curriculum, which is very engaging for ninth graders. It's a Foundations of Literature course in English that approaches Shakespeare and contemporary literature in an inquiry-based discussion Harkness format. Then the girls take a world history or a world history honors course. They can, Mrs. McDonald spoke about placement, and they place into math, either Algebra 1 or Geometry Honors, Algebra 2 or Trig. Then there's a Physics 9 or Physics 9 honors course. World languages, they have many choices, 5 actually: Arabic, Chinese, French, Latin, and Spanish. They take a theology course, which is an introduction really to philosophical and theological thinking, really important, and they remember it. They write back from college to say how they remember Mr. Martone's theology course in 9th grade. And we build on that throughout the curriculum. They also have electives, which are really fun. They can take Foundations of Art, Introduction to Computational Thinking for the girls who might be interested in engineering. And we have a requirement actually that begins in 9th grade this year in computer science. And they can add on to that with computational thinking. They can take a second world language course if they're interested. Introduction to filmmaking. We have a signature broadcast, journalism and film production and film studies program. Photography, theater, music, chorus, orchestra. Lots for them to think about and engage in, and they love it. I like to think about them as just wonderfully heroic in what they're willing to try in 9th grade. And they love every moment of it, and building a cohort and a foundation for their learning. So schedule, we have a wonderful new schedule that everybody seems pretty happy with. 75-minute classes, meeting twice a week. And that may sound daunting at first, but what the girls love about that is there's time in between. It lightens the load of homework and assessments. Wednesday, we have a flexible Wednesday with lots of additional programming that Ms. Pan can speak about. Wednesdays are great. What we have then at one-to-one meetings with teachers, that's a signature kind of concept at our school. It's either academic enrichment or academic support, and the girls drop by all the time to meet with teachers. Ms. Pan, other things you want to speak about?
No, I think you did a great job, Mrs. Vasu. You know, I think when we chose to change our schedule, yes, it was COVID pushed, but it really was for the wellness of our girls, and we focus a lot of health and wellness for all our teenage girls as they grow up in this society that we're in, and we want to prepare them and strengthen them as they get ready for their next chapter in life. And we use that schedule and use advisory times and use a lot of different places where we can reach them outside of the classroom as well.
Great, thank you. Ms. Pan, can you elaborate a little more on our advisory program, the role of advisors, what we do in that period during the day?
Every girl here is assigned an advisor as a freshman, and they grow with their advisor for 4 years. It's wonderful. I have juniors right now, so I've gotten to know them since they were 9th graders, and I will see them graduate next year. We meet advisory once a week, and it's a 45-minute period, so you really get to delve into a lot of different issues. We're starting a program called Brave this year and teaching our girls their brave and what their brave means to them. And it's a very exciting program that we're using. We also use that time to go over schedule tidbits. This week, we'll be talking about our alum career morning and what's coming up for them there. So advisory is a great place. There are about 8 to 10 girls in each advisory, so the girls really get to know each other as well. And that advisor is just another person that's watching over your daughter every day.
Thanks, Ms. Pan. And we have a question about our college guidance program, and luckily we have Mrs. McDonald here tonight. Mrs. McDonald, can you talk about how we support our students through that process of finding the school that's right for them?
Absolutely. So our college guidance program is built with the mindset that we want it to be as comfortable as possible, as we know that this is, you know, kind of a stress-induced thing, not only by the nature of the beast, but I think living in the area that we live. And so our approach is a very measured approach to introduce the girls to the concept of doing a college search and then moving into the testing and the applications, but in a way that is done kind of gently, so that they can have the information that they need and feel confident that they're kind of an active part of the process, but not jump too far in advance and get too worked up about it. So we do start a little teeny bit in the freshman year by just introducing our platform, our software platform, which is called Naviance. but only in the sense that we provide summer opportunities for them. So they can log on to the Naviance program and begin to look at some summer opportunities that they may be able to take advantage of, but at least they get kind of an introduction to that software platform. And then sophomore year, we build on that a little bit more. We open up the college search part of that platform so they can, and we just gently talk with them about, look, this is not where you want to go to college. This is, hey, do I think maybe a big city environment might be great, or maybe a more rural thing, but just a general, get a sense of what you might like. Starting junior year, we do have a full-fledged college guidance class. They meet once every 10 days with us, and we start looking at, now that you know a little bit about the different kinds of colleges, what do you think might work for you? And then how does the GPA fit into that? And how do you start looking at SAT and ACT and which one you prefer? So again, just a very measured, soft pedal approach where they're getting absolutely every part of the information and the process that they need to have, but not so that it's stressful to them. Senior year, same thing. We have a full-fledged college guidance class where we walk through the application process with them. And I think the most important thing is that, well, it's twofold, right? It's a process that is family, Sacred Heart, student driven. And so we have a lot of programming for the parents also, so that you're fully aware of our approach and you give us feedback that you think is helpful in the process. And we also spend much time with parents coming in and meeting with us. Now it's Zoom, of course, and making sure that the end goal is to find the best fit college and university for your daughter. Where are they going to thrive in the same way that they were able to thrive here at Sacred Heart? What are the gifts that they have that they've developed that a college campus is going to honor and continue to allow them to celebrate who they are? So it's really a 4-year process, but a very measured, stepped, helpful, collaborative process.
And I want to add, and it's grounded in really supportive one-to-one relationships with faculty. I teach 10th and 12th grade, and sometimes I teach them twice. So part of this process is the everyday supportive ethos, the atmosphere of the school, which you heard from the girls, so that faculty really get to know the girls and can write letters of recommendation and help them with essays. And so it's a very well-rounded and grounded program with the girls front and center.
Thank you.
Could I add on to that? Because
Yeah.
I can't help myself. I love what Ms. McDonald said. And I think rooted in the young woman knowing what her next chapter is a sense of knowing thyself. And that is through our retreats, through what we call reflection. Sometimes for certain girls, it's prayer. It's a sense that it matters to take a step back every once in a while and to reflect on who we are, our strengths, our weaknesses, what we love to do, what we find difficult. And that's how you learn decision-making. So you don't run up to junior year and all of a sudden just think about college. You ease into it through college guidance, through opportunities in campus ministry, with Ms. Panarella, with your advisor, with your teacher, with your parents. And there's a developmental readiness that comes out of self-discovery. And I think what you're hearing, I hope, is a symphony approach, that it's not just all on Miss McDonald and her team or the teachers or the student herself. It really is about all of us supporting an atmosphere where a student is in the driver's seat and very much driving herself to the next chapter. And that's what's so exciting.
Absolutely. Ms. Pan, we have a question about extracurriculars and athletics. As Dean of Students, golf coach, the many hats you wear. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what our girls are involved in.
Well, you name it, we've got it. Our girls are athletes, artists, everything they want to be, and we have an offering. We have a thriving athletic program here, many varsity JV sports to choose from. Again, I am the golf coach, so we go golf. But we also have a beautiful theater program for our artists and musical in the spring. Girls also do both, as you heard Lydia earlier. You aren't put in one path here. You can be an artist and you can be an athlete. We have a thriving science Olympiad program and robotics club that just really took off last year into this year, and multiple clubs that the girls have come up with and are student-led. So any choices that they are looking for is there. We have a Model UN team, mock trial. We have a yearbook that's being put together as we speak. So many opportunities for girls to get involved, both outside the classroom, during the school day, and whenever they'd like to be there.
Thanks, Ms. Pan. And I see we have a couple admission-related questions. One about recommendations and space. If your school will not complete recommendations, we have an extracurricular recommendation form for someone like a coach, a tutor, a CCD teacher, someone who knows you in a special way that can give us some insight. You're welcome to submit those. In regards to space, 9th grade is an entry year for us. We usually have on average about 15 new students who enter the 9th grade. It's a transition year for everybody. So our students that are moving up from the 8th grade, it's a new world for them. They have the same nerves about entering upper school as our new students do. What I find so telling always, and Ms. Pan, you can elaborate on this, but when freshman election time comes around, there's always a great group of new students who within the first month of school are getting up in front of their classmates, reading their speech and running for a role on our student council. And to me, that just is a very clear example that very quickly our students feel at home, feel part of our community and part of their class. 10th grade is not a typical entry year. However, we always welcome new students into the 10th grade. It's just a little less predictable how many spots we will have. However, you met Lydia, she entered in the 10th grade. So I would say on average, it's between 3 and 5 students, but a smaller applicant pool. So hopefully that answers those admission questions. There's also a question about theology. If a student has never taken theology before, will she be behind when she enters into Sacred Heart? And maybe we want to talk a little bit about just what faith and theology and how it's incorporated into our upper school life and program.
I can start and anybody can finish, but no, you know, as a student coming without a theology background is not behind. We have great courses here, like Mrs. Vasu said, Foundations of Theology in the beginning with Mr. Martone, all the way up to our senior seminar course in senior year. Really is a range of courses where girls will learn a bunch, and then our retreat programs, our chapels, our masses just add to their faith life and spirituality throughout the years here.
So they won't be behind because the courses are advance in a spiral really of theological thinking and of asking the girls to think about their role, their faith life really, and what faith in action means and serving others and thinking beyond the self. So 9th grade is Introduction to Theological Thinking, and 10th grade is Scripture and the Arts, and 11th grade is Christian Ethics and Morality and Justice, and 12th grade we have a signature program, Senior Seminar in Literature and Thought. It's really a magnificent program. The girls read all the great big thinkers in theology, from the Greeks through Aquinas, through Thomas Merton, through Ella Baker and the Sisters of Selma and Martin Luther King. So it's very, it's all about social justice, really, and about sort of how to live a good life, a purposeful life, an ethical life as women of faith who believe in others and in serving others. So it's a really strong program, and it creates, I believe, champion thinkers, but champion women who are eager to go out in the world and be with other people in compassion and kindness and empathy, making, as John Lewis said, good trouble, thinking about others and stirring up ideas, and being leaders, which is another signature program of ours. We have this wonderful new leadership program as well. Hope that answers your question. It's a great spiral of courses, truly.
Yeah, I just add one piece as an overview, which is why I think it's important when we ask parents to add their essay in about why it's a good fit. And we are proudly Catholic and joyfully inclusive. It is a place where we want our girls to have faith in themselves, faith in others, and we know that their inner strength can come with the opportunity to consider what role faith plays in their life. So if you have questions or specific concerns relative to your daughter's faith experience, please don't hesitate to bring those up or ask us. That's part of understanding who we are and helping us to get to know your daughter better too.
Thank you, Mrs. Frazier. And I'm just aware of the time, and I know how busy everyone's lives are with homework and your own school events. So if we didn't get to your question today, just know we will reach out in a personal way in the coming days. You know, even in this virtual world, it's really important for us that we personalize this process for you, each of you as an individual. And as Mrs. Frazier said, we have many events that are going to be planned and that are on our schedule so that we can dive deeper into all the elements of what make this Sacred Heart education such a valuable, beneficial place for our girls. So I would encourage you to check out our website. Next week, we'll have our student roundtables. So we'll have more of our students to share their voice with you, their Sacred Heart experiences. They're always excited to talk about their school, talk about what they're doing, talk about their friendships and their activities. So I would encourage you to log on there. Mrs. Frazier will zoom in as a special guest appearance at a Noontime Knowledge later in November. We'll have events about athletics and the arts, signature programs, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we look forward to getting to know your family, getting to know you girls as we go through this process. And I want to stress that if myself and my admission team can be helpful and supportive along the way, that is our role. We are here to help you answer your questions and connect you with all the members of our community who are going to help you learn about Sacred Heart. And my goal is at the end of this process that you have all the information you need to know about the school so that you can make the best decision for yourself for your upper school career. So I just want to thank Mrs. Frazier, Mrs. Vasu, Mrs. McDonald, Ms. Panarella, and all of you for attending tonight. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend and a happy Halloween. And we look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.